In this video, I'm going to be following another artist's YouTube video, Drew Steinbrecher, where he teaches how to create his iconic style for gel prints. If you've been around here for a while, you know that I don't typically use a gel pad to create my collage papers, even though I own at least 5 of them. So this was super fun to actually use supplies that I've had around for a long time and to learn the basics from my friend Drew, an expert on gel printing. Hello, my name is Catherine Rains. I'm a mixed media collage artist, and welcome to Tune In Tuesday, where I share art demos to expand your mixed media toolbox. If you see value in my art demos, I would deeply appreciate a thumbs up, and if you would subscribe to my channel below. Links for all the supplies to make these papers are down below under the word more. And while you're there, you might also want to check out my free 5-day online workshop, Collage Kickstart, where I teach you how to use all the collage papers taught during Tune In Tuesday to make fabulous collages the very first try. So let's get into learning the basics of how Drew creates his style of gel prints. This week, I'm going to create a type of paper that I never do, and that is with a gel plate. As you know, I don't use a gel plate to create my papers, and the reason I don't is because I make it a rule to make papers that are accessible to as many people as possible. And many people don't have gel plates, so I make papers without them. However, one of my dear artist friends, Drew Steinbrecher, is an expert at gel printing, and we decided to do a little experiment that I would take one of his YouTube videos and make his paper, and he would take one of mine and make my paper. So I am going to make one of his classic papers, and he is going to make my bubble paper, and we'll both post them. So for this paper, I'm going to use these large acrylic paint pens that will be linked under the video. And funny enough, I actually bought these a very long time ago because I did see Drew make these papers, and I thought, oh, I got to try that, and I never did. So here's the first time I'm ever going to actually use these fabulous paint markers. So following his direction, this is what I'm going to do. I am taking my paint marker and just making some dashes. Pretty bold strokes. Now, my gel plate is rather dirty, and it's dirty from a long time ago. I haven't actually used it in such a long time. So it's not like I don't do any gel printing. It's just not where I put my energy into. So it's got a little bit of grunge to it. I'm going to just reinforce some of the lines because the paint wants to pull up a little bit, which I'm not sure why. Wish Drew were here to tell me why the paint wants to pull up. I'm sure some of you will know because you do gel printing. But this kind of classic line is what Drew very often does for his papers. So I'm just making sure that I have good coverage with these lines because some of the paint from the marker is pulling up. But a second coat seems to be working. Just reinforce it. I want a really bold white line and not have any of the paint kind of coming up a little bit. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to wait about 30 minutes until this completely dries, and then we'll put some paint on top. 30 minutes have passed. I'm going to put a layer of paint on top of the dried acrylic markers, and I'm using Nova paint. Now, what Drew used in his video was fluid acrylics, which is very transparent. The Nova paints, if you brush them out pretty thin, you can get a similar look to that. I just need to make sure I don't put too much paint down, and hopefully I'll get a transparent look. So I'm putting a little bit of my phthalo blue green shade and a little bit of white, and I'm mixing the paint right on the gel plate with my brayer. Now what I'd like to see is those little white marks coming through. And the more I brush this with a brayer, I'm beginning to see those white marks come through. I'm just kind of spreading the paint around so that it turns out to be a little more transparent. Now, unfortunately, I didn't remember everything that Drew said to do. And the next step is actually to put a piece of tissue or paper on top of this immediately. And instead, I let this dry. Not the thing to do. For those of you who do gel printing, you know that basically didn't ruin the print, but it's not going to give me the effect I want, at least not what Drew did in his video. So I have nothing to lose, so put another layer of paint on top of that. So I'm putting some yellow and some white. I'm going to mix this right on top of the gel pad. And then this time I'm going to follow directions. and I'm going to immediately lay down a piece of tissue paper. Now I am offloading a little bit of the extra paint because the more I layer across here, the more I can make that paint more transparent. So I'm getting some of that yellow off so that I can see some of the white marks as well as the blue paint that was the layer right underneath this. Immediately this time, I'm putting the tissue down. I'm using a Baron tool to smooth out that tissue paper as much as I can. There are still some wrinkles in it, which I think might make it interesting. Now I am going to let this completely dry with the paper on top. I waited about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes till the paper was completely dry. There was no coolness to it. Now I started to pull up the tissue from the gel pad, and I realized the tissue was a little delicate. So it was actually working better to flip it over, put the gel pad on top, and very gingerly pull that gel pad up from the tissue. So I didn't exactly follow Drew's instructions, but I still love this paper. It's hard to believe this is actually tissue paper, but I've got several layers of paint here. So I am going to try this one more time, actually doing what he said to do in his video. So here we go. Now there's some leftover paint on my jelly pad. I'm totally okay with that. I think it'll give it an interesting kind of look to have a little texture to it. Got my white pen. Let's just try this again. Let's go back and reinforce some of these. Make them a little brighter white and also fill in where I'm getting a little bit of paint separation. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. This paint pen is now completely dry on the plate. So let's see if I can actually follow the directions of Drew and repeat what he actually did. So I'm using Nova paint, not putting that much down. And what I'm trying to get is a teeny bit of a teal by putting mostly blue and a tinge of yellow. And maybe just a little bit of a couple white just to lighten it up. We'll see. And I'm gonna try to mix this right on the plate. And I actually want a pretty translucent, transparent look because I am going to put tissue paper down. So I want to be able to see that white underneath. So Nova paint almost acts like a fluid acrylic. It's a little heavier than that, but it's in the ballpark. So I can get, if I don't put too much paint down, I can get a transparent look to this. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to put a piece of tissue down. I'm going to just push this down in sections so I can get it as flat as possible. Yep, my paper's not quite big enough. I think that's good. But what I didn't do last time was put the paper down right away as soon as I put the paint down. Now, according to Drew, I need to let this dry at least 5 to 10 minutes. So I'll come back and pull this off once this is dry. This one's been sitting maybe 15, 20 minutes. It's time to rip the Band-Aid or rip the tissue, one or the other. So let's see how this goes. I'm getting a little bit of rip here. So I think what I'm going to do is turn this over like I did the last one. Let's get this last part off. Beautiful. And it's got some translucency. So that'll be really cool on a collage. Finally worked. Whew. I really want to use a classic Drew move, which is to take a really wide black pen and just make some really bold loop-de-loops. I'm just going to go back over it, make sure that the paint pen is really thick and I don't have any of that kind of separation of the paint on the plate. Okay. Let this dry. Now this one is dry. The question is what color to put on top of it. So I'm thinking I want to keep it within the same teal family. So I'm going to put mostly blue, just a dot of yellow, maybe too much yellow right there, and then lighten it up with a little bit of white and mix it right on the pad again. Now, I am not an expert jelly printer, which is pretty obvious here. So I already can see that I've got probably too much paint on here because I really want it a little more translucent, although I can see the black lines through here. You know, you don't learn until you experiment. So I am going to, got a piece of scratch paper here, just rub off some of this paint, and I do believe that I can get some of that paint off. Yeah, the black is already showing through better just by rolling it through here. Oh, I'm already liking that a lot. The color is just really rich. It's interesting, there's some white right there. And just for fun, I'm gonna put a piece of drawing paper on it this time instead of the tissue. Again, make sure it's really well adhered with a Baron. I could just use my hand as well. It's really fun to use tools that I bought a long time ago that I've never used, well, barely used. This Baron is not something that I need every day. I bought it thinking I was gonna do a bunch of jelly prints and I never did. So I'm gonna let this sit. Now this line right here is because I am not a good steward of my jelly pad. And I actually stored my jelly pad on a shelf without the plastic shell that it comes in. And I laid something on top of it. Now I have a permanent line there. So it'll be an interesting mark maker. I'm gonna let this sit until it's thoroughly dry, maybe 5-10 minutes, and we'll do the big reveal together. All right, let's see what this one looks like. Now I think I am gonna turn this over because I don't want to wrinkle this paper too much, and that's what's happening. I was actually kind of wrinkling it or bending it as I was pulling the paper up. Pull the gel plate up first, or I should say I'm pulling the gel plate up instead of the paper. I love that. Wow. What a gorgeous dark value paper. I love that. And again, as with all of my collage papers, I'm not going to use this all together. I'm going to take a corner of it, like that little piece or that little piece in a collage will be a beautiful dark contrasting paper for me. And my collection of Drew inspired gel plate prints are finished. Pretty motivated to keep going. Again, I'm new to this, so most of this is experimentation, but isn't all collage paper experimenting? And what I find really amusing is that the one that I thought was going to be a total fail, because it was a complete experiment, is the one I liked the most. So it just goes to show you, the more you play, the more you get interesting results. This could be a collage all by itself, although it's just a collage paper. Can see myself just cutting out a little piece right there. So if you haven't already made papers with gel plates, you might want to check out Drew Steinbrecher's YouTube channel, as well as his collage gel printer summit that he has every year. And I know that this is just the beginning of gorgeous papers that I'm going to make using some of the techniques that he shares. Thanks for coming along for this Tune In Tuesday, and I will see you back here next week for another art demo. To learn how to make many more types of collage papers, check out the links that are about to appear right here. And be sure to join my free 5-day online class, Collage Kickstart. The link to sign up is under the word more below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would be deeply grateful if you would. And I'll see you back here next week for another Tune In Tuesday.